Okay, this is for my daughter and her husband, Adam. More for Adam. This is, I guess, if you're watching this, it came out good. I'm calling this my Come On Honey, Do I Really Have to Cook Tonight? Those Kids Are Monsters and They Eat Like Pigs. We'll probably shorten that to something Meatloaf, but I think that's a good name. Um, our ingredients, none of these are mandatory. I have no real good reason why I use them other than I know I like the spices that they give. I might actually add some red pepper to this. Where is my red pepper? Where is my red pepper? Or chili pepper? This is cheating. So I might go with maybe some green chilies. Well, you know what? I'm going to go with green chilies because that's cheating. Let's see how this goes. Start off with the hamburger meat. I had gotten 1 pound, but I found that 1 pound really wasn't going to be enough for all the ingredients I planned on stuffing in this. Of course, I didn't have to use all the ingredients, but I don't like putting stuff away and saving it for later. So put 2 pounds of ground beef, and rather than cut the onions myself, I cheated. I've been doing that a lot lately. I can usually cut onions pretty damn quick and with very little muss, very little fuss. But this is the, oh my God, I really don't want to cook The Kids Eat Like Monsters meatloaf. So keeping that in mind, this is for when you don't really feel like cooking, but you want to cook something that is enough. Oh, that's pico de gallo. Onions, pico de gallo. And these are peppers, assorted colors. My taste buds died in the military a long time ago, so I don't actually taste much of a difference in bell peppers. But given half a chance, I can taste slight nuances in bell peppers. I'm deciding whether I'm going to use these banana peppers or not. If I use them, I'm going to have to pull them out and cut them up just a little. I don't want them whole like that. And then, where is my can opener? Some of this might get edited so I can keep it as short as possible. I should have had these cans open. I don't usually do cooking videos. I think I've done one so far. Now, and yes, I already washed my hands. Leave me alone. I'm doing this to show some kind of speed and laziness in cooking that you can accomplish. Now, one thing I do need to do, I need to take the tops off. Normally I have an assistant. I do not have an assistant. So I have to get ready for messy hands, which means I need to get these things open and prepared, because I do not like getting grease and other assorted juices all over my spices. Everyone likes to wish the shush, the shish, the shish, the sheer sauce. 4-state cheddar. Why this cheddar? No good reason. I like Sargento. I could have done meatloaf before with all cheddar, but we're going to see how this comes out. As I say, I'm designing this primarily for Adam, so going with his set of monsters. When his wife was one of my monsters, she would have liked the cheddar. She was a special monster. And it's kind of funny. I'll tell you a story while I mix the meat. I'm going to need eggs here, so I'm going to have to end up washing my hands again anyway. When she was little, she would giggle like a little schoolgirl if you call her bright eyes. It's like, oh, look at little bright eyes, and she just started giggling. Now, you would think, oh, well, you know, she was a little girl. No, she was an infant. And if she was ever crying or anything like that and just looking at you, If you call her bright eyes, oh my goodness, she would just start giggling. I'm like, now her eyes were always like she had an ideal and she wanted to tell you about it. It's either that or she had something in her diaper and she wanted to show it to you. And she was thinking to herself, just wait. You have a surprise waiting on you. Just some information about your wife. Try it on her. See whether she still giggles like a little schoolgirl. You didn't have to tell her jokes. Just call her bright eyes and she started giggling. That's when I learned that my darling little pumpkin has cooties. Because typically when you giggle like that, it's a clear, defined sign that there are cooties involved. And I know what you're thinking. That's not a thing. Oh, I beg to differ. For those of you who know, girls and women with cooties are real. And they make you do things like that. Now I'm gonna add just a little cumin, and just a little, because I find that I don't like it when you add too much. And a good amount of salt. I only had you can pretty much see how much it's coating. And that's it for my garlic salt. Oh no, no garlic salt. What a world. Paprika. Now maybe somebody can tell me in the comment section why I like paprika so much. But I really do. I'm not cooking much anymore, so this is ridiculously small to me. I usually have a big old thing of paprika. And Worcestershire sauce. Now you can do this with barbecue sauce too. I'm foregoing the barbecue because of the other ingredients and spices. I feel that they clash with barbecue sauce. If I was going to use barbecue sauce, I probably wouldn't use cumin. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Who knows? Who cares? Get this mixed up. And prepare for eggnosis, eggifying, because the consistency is kind of crumbly right now, and I kind of want it to stick together. Well, I definitely want it to stick together. You might not be able to see this in the camera, but Captain James is smoking up his house because his oven needs to be cleaned, so when he turns it on immediately, it burns his house down, or gives the impression that his house is about to burn down. Usually I go with 3 eggs. I'm gonna go with 4. No particular reason. You find that a lot of the things I cook, I have no particular reason, but it works out. 1 egg. 2 eggs. 3 eggs. The house is burning down. Let me handle this and be right back. Okay, now that my house is officially burned down, and my neighbors are probably saying, yep, we knew it. There are always strange noises and smells coming from that house. Clean your ovens. That's my public service announcement for the day. Clean your oven. Because I know what the problem is. So it's not something I didn't know about and couldn't avoid. And you can see for the honey, do I really have to cook? All the kids eat like monsters meatloaf. It's pretty damn simple. It's just to dump everything into a pan and mix. Now, the consistency right now is a little watery. Oh, and I totally forgot the other ingredient. Oh, you are just gonna look and your mouths are gonna gape open as I reach for this ingredient. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. And since my son-in-law is a wrestler, tell the other wrestlers. You know, when you got them pinned to the mat and you're whispering the sweet insults into their ears, tell them this and it'll really make them lose hope when fighting against you. Potatoes O'Brien, straight out frozen. Add some. I'd say this is about maybe a cup. Yeah, and you know, that's about right. About a cup. Leave them frozen. Don't thaw them out, but make sure they're broken up. Don't leave any clumps of potatoes in there. Basically, we're gonna make a whole meal out of this. And when it's done, it's going to cook up, be delicious, and have leftovers, even though those kids, they eat like monsters. It will still be good. You can get all of this on the Honey Otter. Do I really have to cook? Go to the supermarket, grab this stuff right off of the shelf, go out the door, get home, open it all up. And I'm thinking of banana peppers, they're delicious. I don't really feel like, you know what? Now, at this point, I can go ahead and put it in the loaf pan that's over there. But you know what? This is going to be the advanced. Honey, do I really have to cook? All those kids, they eat like monsters meatloaf. This is the advance, and on the advance, what we're going to do, my secondary cutting board, we're going to pull out a couple. You know what? I don't need the guillotine. Cut this up. I love my Ginsus. Say what you want. It's a wonderful night. Okay. Get some banana peppers. Ooh, I don't want the juices. Don't give me the juices, not the juices. Okay. That should be enough. What do you think? What do you think? What? Okay, another pinch? Got it. Another pinch. One thing about your pickles and things, only have the juice right at the very top. Never really keep more juice in it than that. I feel that it keeps better that way. Woo! Pickle juice. And basically you're just cutting them small enough to where it can be put in. And I'm going to jump the film ahead. You're not going to watch me cut banana peppers. How exciting. And as you can see, this is, here are the banana peppers, nice and diced up. A couple of long ones in there. As I said, I'm kind of predominantly doing this because I'm bored and going crazy inside my house while my truck is being repaired. If you saw earlier videos, you know that it's out of commission for the moment. Not necessarily out of commission as much as it is waiting to be recertified as safe to drive on the road. And I thought to myself, I'm going crazy in the house because there's nothing to do in El Paso because it's hot as snot. So I'll cook meatloaf. And then my daughter had informed me that she was not in the mood, and he, meaning her husband, he needs to cook tonight because I'm not in the mood. And she says he cooks, so, but I figured, you know what? I kept coming up with ideas that, you know, he should cook this and he should cook that. Because I know she's got a lot of monsters and they eat like monsters. You have Victor Von Doom, which is the oldest monster in the house. You have Martin Scorsese Liam, and he's like a monster. Then you got Boss Baby Charles. He is a picky monster. And then you have the newest one in the fold, Madman Matthias, named after his father, of course. The Madman part, not the Matthias part. And I thought about this dish, which I have fed my own children different types of meatloaf in the past, because we all know we love meatloaf. Let's not even lie about that. This is not really necessary because of the grease content, but I'm so used to using Pam. Like I said, it really isn't necessary. And I love this pan. My mother gave it to me. Mother! Nah, ain't that sensitive. All right. I actually have enough. I might end up having to make 3 loaves of meatloaf. So there you have it. This is one of the reasons why I make it for family. So, oh my goodness, I am single and this is ridiculous. This is why I don't cook anymore. For the record, I don't know how to cook for less than 4 people. I just don't know how to do it. I was a single parent for a while, and of course I had monsters and they ate like monsters. So I only know how to cook for monsters, and monsters eat. And none of my kids were fat. So it's like you gave them food and they burned it. Either that or they regurgitated it like birds to their friends when they went outside to play. I don't know what the hell they did, but oh my goodness, they just kept eating. They can't be stopped. Where are the police? Call the National Guard. They're eating everything. Yeah, they were quite healthy little eaters. And the thing is, Bright Eyes, she was a picky eater, and I thought she'd be the worst. Turns out, no. Her brother Aaron, he's a monster. Thing is, he was so cute. Who would have thought? And he is big now, that big boy. I'll put some pictures in with all this. You figure if I'm going to embarrass him, I'm going to embarrass all of them. You figure James, the eldest of the clan of monsters. Now what I'm doing is I'm making a moat for my meatloaf. That way when the grease, it will go and pool where I want it to pool, which means halfway through this process of cooking, when I want to degreasify it, it'll all be there and I can just tip it. This consistency is pretty good. I could use some breadcrumbs to dry it up a little, but I really don't. I'm trying to get away from carbs. Carbs are bad. And breadcrumbs are, if nothing else, carbs. So I'm trying to get away from that. And this is pretty keto, by the way. The one thing that makes it not adhere to the keto principles are the potatoes of O'Brien because of the starch. But there aren't many of them. There's only a cup, and that's a cup for 2 pounds. And you know this is more than 2 pounds because it was 2 pounds of hamburger meat. Then you add in all the other stuff. So it's more than 2 pounds of food right here. And to my disgrace, the kids aren't here. My daughter lives in Jersey. Now Aaron, that big boy right there, that boy is big. He's trying to be heavy D. He's here in El Paso, but he has not been contacted on this meal. Sometimes you want to lock all the doors because that boy can eat. Now he's got a darling little daughter. I call her Princess Zian. She looks like Shirley Temple. She's adorable. And she's like, this is how big she is. She's about that big. which is funny because she's like 6 years old, 5, 6 years old, and she's about that big. So I think he's eating all her food. I'm not sure. I can't prove it in a court of law, but I suspect he is eating all of her food because that big boy. Now, this is the finished product. If I wanted to get fancy, I put strips of bacon across it. That makes it decorative. Or I could line the pan down in the on the sides with bacon, and when it cooks, it will solidify, and you can slice it, and it'll be like, you know, the crust on bread. Because meat loaf is called a loaf, and it would look more like bread. You can do these things, but this is the honey. Do I really have to cook? All those kids eat like monsters. So you figure this is for somebody who wants to do something really quick because they don't want to do it in the first place. Because, oh my God, those kids eat like monsters. And also, if you're on a budget, even with kids that eat like monsters, this food will last at least a day or two. Well, it'll last 2 days or 3, 2 or 3, because of course you got the day you cook it. Now, I put the foil on it only for the first part of the cooking because I want it to cook and get hot and steamy and all that good stuff. After about 45 minutes of cooking it at about 350 degrees, I'm going to take this off. This will allow the meatloaf to get a crust over the top. At that same time is probably when I'm going to pour the grease off. At that same time is also when I want to add barbecue sauce across the top to get that, you know, sauce covering. So that's pretty much it. I'll be back with the rest after the pour off. We'll take a look and see how it came out. Okay, we're an hour in, and we're going to pour off any excess juices and inspect our honey. Do I have to? The kids, they eat like monsters meatloaf. Let's get it out. It's a little hot in my house at the moment because I had to leave the window partially open. Oh, sorry, not the window, the doors. Because, you know, smoke, house burning down. Of course, the smoke is burnt off mostly. And this is the first look. Ah, she looks delicious. But of course, she's swimming in juices. This looks like it's gonna take at least another hour to cook, but I might as well, since I got it here, pour off some of the juices. And it's not really grease at this point. It's a lot of water, it seems like at this point. And you see where's my little moats around the loaves has paid off. Isn't that just the prettiest? Now I've made this with versions of this with turkey, chicken. Of course, the turkey and the chicken don't really brown very well. So there's that, not to worry. And you know, this thing isn't even hot. I guess it's because I was scared to turn it up because of the smoke. Or maybe I didn't have it at the right temperature to begin with. But we're going to rectify. Cooking meatloaf slow doesn't hurt it. So we are 1 hour in. And that is the status. See you again in another hour. Back again, just under the 2nd hour mark. We're at about an hour 50 minutes if I had to guess. Let's see how we get. Now, I'll tell you right off the bat, it is smelling good. It is sizzling like I expect meatloaf to sizzle. I think it was I didn't have the temperature set right. And it is still about, I'd say about 375, but my oven is old and it doesn't really maintain a proper temperature, and I'm dripping juices on my floor. No, I can't leave either, but I hate to put the juices on my cutting board. Aye. Okay, let's get this off. And it is juicy. I tell you that it is juicy. Yes, this is the look that I was going for. This is the look of success and triumph. Oh, see now this, if you can see it, that's grease. Like I said, my little trenches allow that grease to come right out. Now, this is the part. Good Lord. You know, I was at the supermarket. I needed more of this. Wasn't on the shopping list. Didn't know it. That's what happens when you cook so little. Now, of course, this is where if you wanted to decorate it with bacon, this is, if you didn't do it earlier, this is a perfect time, last chance to do it. My mother does a sauce for meatloaf that is elegant. I cheat, but again, this is the do I have to? The kids, they eat like monsters meatloaf, so it's all about cheating, and you can't cheat better than that. I can also get a knife or fork and just smooth just a little, like cake. It'll leave a glaze if you get the right barbecue sauce. I don't cook this enough to remember what the right barbecue sauce is, so I typically just potluck whatever I grab and wish for the best. Okay. Of course, the brown, excessive brown, as far as I know, I'm no cooking aficionado, is from the egg content and some of the others. Yes, I was testing to see if I was just gonna throw it in. I'm not. Nobody wants to see me burn my fingers, okay? This is gonna go in for about maybe 15 minutes just to get it nice and crisp on the top. It is essentially done. See you in 15. Okay, we're done. That was a little bit longer than 15 minutes. That was more like 20, 25. Now, had I set the oven correctly, I probably could have done this whole thing and right at about the 2-hour mark, maybe a little less. But here is the creation. It is kind of pinkish, kind of reddish, but that's probably because of the paprika and some of the other spices. Well, mostly paprika, I think. And just a little bit more grease to get out of it. Not much, because I've been pouring it all. stick a fork in this bad boy. Let's see. It all looks so good. Let's go with this one. How you guys like my meatloaf slicer? Comes right up and out. Look, inside, nice and cooked. Potatoes are cooked. Let's get a taste of this. It's a little crumbly. You gotta watch how much stuff you put in there. The cheese helps keep together the eggs. I don't think I would have added any more than the 4. I can taste the cumin. You guys didn't tell me. I'm saying cumin this whole time. Not cumin. Duh. It's curry powder. I'm tasting like that's not cumin that I remember. It's curry powder. I'm kind of wondering. They don't even have any more cumin. As I said, I don't really know why I use these seasonings I use. They taste good to me, so I use them. I'm out of cumin. Ah. I got red curry powder too. I probably never used it. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Adam. The monsters can eat like monsters. They will most likely not get through this. Of course, you would serve it with vegetables, green beans, whatever. I hate that green stuff. Ugh. But they won't get past this one. Then you have a whole nother 2 pounds, at least 2 nights. You got monsters. So 2 nights. For those of the rest of us who have normal children and not monsters, which no, I'm not one of them because I had 3 monsters of my own, at least 2 nights. I think that's about it. Delicious. Thank you. Hope you enjoy. Any recommendations? Remember, this is Honey Do I Have To? The kids eat like monsters meatloaf. So it has to be quick, has to be not advanced. Throw it together, throw it in the oven and eat it. But any recommendations? My daughter is going to see this video and she does have monsters. So help a girl out. And thank you. Talk to you later.